Hey, welcome to the Bourbon Shop. I'm Keith, my buddy Dex, and today we're going to take a look at Clyde May Single Barrel Rye Whiskey 5 year, 104 proof. Um, if you like rye, you might want to look into this one. Let's get into it. Good. I like that. Well, thanks for being around, Dex. I appreciate that. Okay, this is again on a rye note today. Clyde May, and this is actually a Total Wine and More bottle pick. Um, and as you can see, I've gave this a couple of tastes, and so far I'm really pleased about it. But let's go into a little history about Clyde May. I'm going to pour this up and go into a little history about Clyde May. Who is he, and where is this being made today? So, Clyde May was born in 1922. He served in WW2, the World War, and there he earned a bronze and a Purple Heart. Now, 4 years after he was released from the Army because of injuries, uh, he got into being a bootlegger or a moonshiner. And the fact that he earned a really good reputation as far as the quality of moonshine that he was distributing. But he was most wanted. Now, this is, of course, after Prohibition. But still, he was doing this illegally. He wasn't licensed to make, produce, and sell any kind of spirits. So, really, between the years of 1950 and 1980, it's estimated that he sold more than 300 gallons of his moonshine. And during that time, those 40 years, he was only caught one time. So he was sentenced to jail for 8 months, well, 18 months rather, but he only served 8 months out of the 18. So once he got out, he had a change of heart. He changed his ways and began to do things legally. Just kidding. He went right back into bootlegging, full speed ahead. Um, a fun fact is that the gentleman who prosecuted Clyde was named John N. Mitchell. You may know him if you're a history buff. He went to prison concerning the Watergate scandal. And he worked for Richard Nixon. And he went to prison in 1977. He did 19 months. Now, I wonder did Clyde may get a big kick out of that? Or did he even send him a complimentary bottle of his moonshine while he was in prison? The irony of that, right? Now, Clyde May died in 1990, and his son Kenny took over and wanted to, in some way, honor his father for all the work that he's done. And so he legalized a whiskey in honor of his name, put his father's name on that bottle. And he was very successful with it. But the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Kenny was eventually arrested himself for selling spirits illegally in states where he wasn't licensed to sell the alcohol. And so eventually he lost the company. And the company is now owned by Knooch, which is a distillery that is located out of New York City. Now, it was or is been distilled in Kentucky and bottled in Florida. And I say was is because on their website it says that in the year 2023 they're going to break ground. Rather, in the year 2023, distillery in Alabama, Troy, Alabama, should be open and called Clyde May Distillery. So that should be going on right now. In fact, it says here, let's see, that Clyde May's Distillery in Troy, Alabama, it is a Knooch brand LLC, broke ground on their new distillery. Now, this was back in 2022 when this article came out. So more than likely that distillery is open now. I've got a couple of pictures of what it looks like. So the question is, it says that it's been made there. The whiskey has been made in Alabama. So is it no longer MGP or sourced out? Not quite sure. So I'll have to dig a little deeper to find that out. But that's a little history about Clyde May and where it came from and how do we have it to this day. Now, this is a really good rye. As I stated, it's 5 years old. I don't know the mash bill. They really don't put that information out. I don't know why they do that. Just if you know, let us know. But I believe it is a high rye because it drinks that way. Real nice color, a nice dark copper color. Really nice, gorgeous legs on it. So let's just get right into it with the nose. Now, I spent some time with this because a couple of days ago to really get into this nose. And that's right off, it's a spicy floral hint that I'm picking up. A lot of mints, spearmint, peppermint, that bacon spice, like a nutmeg, allspice, brown sugar, nice dark fruit, like dates and plums. You haven't smelled the, you remember Nestle Quick? You know, that powdered hot chocolate, and you smell it? You smell some of that cocoa in here. Man, it is a really good nose. Yeah. Nice fruit. And you get the cinnamon, a real nice, spicy. It smells kind of rich and creamy. And let's take it to the palate. So right away, you get a nice kick of that spice, which is why I think it's a nice high rye content with this. And you have a nice amount of oak in this. The main taste I get out of this is pine needles. But not just pine needles, like chocolate covered pine needles, if you could even imagine that. And it's a buttery mouthfeel, like that cinnamon. Like if you had cinnamon butter spread over a rye toast, and on the side of your plate, you got some chocolate covered pine needles. I tell you, this is a delicious palate. It's spicy, but it's sweet. And it's bodacious. The taste, and it just fills your whole mouth with sweet and sour notes throughout the whole tongue. Let's talk about the finish. Yeah, get that chocolate covered pine needles. Some of that dark fruit is coming in, that like the plums or dates. A lot of spice, a lot of cinnamon. It's like I still taste it. It's still there. So the finish is excellent. So this is man, I tell you, if you like rye, you have to give this a try. This Clyde, I just rhymed. Anyway, give this a try. Clyde Mays. This is actually like a store pick. Let's see, it was bottled in, or barreled, let's see, February 14th, 2017, 104 proof, non-chill filtered. Yes. Yeah, so 2 thumbs up on everything with this. Clyde made. So, yeah, if you like it, if you like ryes, and if you like strong ryes, you'll like this one. And when I say strong rye, it's not overpowering. You know, some ryes are just, like 100% rye. So the spice is overwhelming. I really don't go that route, but this is a well balanced rye that you can really get into. And I can only imagine this will make some really nice cocktails. Although I don't drink cocktails, but I can imagine that this will go good in a Manhattan or a, I don't know, whiskey sour, whatever the cocktails that's popular. Yeah. So try this out. Let me know if you like it. Please hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys spending time with me. My buddy over here is taking a nap, so I'm not going to call Dex back over. He got his back turned to me, so I don't think he want to come. Do you? You want to come back, Dex? No? Okay. All right. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. As always, the best way to enjoy your liquor is the way you like to drink it. The best way to drink it is in a responsible way. I will see you next time on the Bourbon Shop. I'm going to drink some more of this Clyde May. Chocolate covered pine needles.